Matthew Stuckey here from Verity Baptist Church Manila and Verity Baptist Church Pampanga with a quick missionary update. And so this past week we had a total of 53 salvations. We're pretty pleased with that given how crazy this week was. Typhoon Ulysses hit us this week and this past week, and it's the worst flooding they've had in Manila in years. I've definitely never experienced anything quite like this. I posted a picture on my Facebook from what it was like in the morning. And so basically I'll just give you a rundown of the week itself because it was just a crazy week overall. And so on Tuesday, we have a gym at the condo that we live in, and it's they only allow two people in at a time, and the atmosphere is not too bad. A lot of gyms I don't like going to, but ours really isn't too bad because there's not really the worldly music or anything like that. And so when I was lifting, and I felt like really weak, just my lifts were weak, and I got really tired. And oftentimes that's a forerunner to the fact that I'm getting a little bit sick. And I actually was a little bit sick this past week, as were many people at our church. And I was thankful that we had scheduled Brother Mateus from our church was preaching on Wednesday. So that was good for me because of the fact I wasn't really feeling great as it was anyway. And we were down at the church building, my wife and I, all day on Monday and Wednesday. We were getting stuff fixed. So we were there on Wednesday before church ended up starting in the evening. And so we got back on Wednesday night, and one family was not able to come on Wednesday night because of the flooding. And, basically it started to rain really hard at night on Wednesday night. We got through the church service, didn't have to miss church. And then all of a sudden, I woke up, and my son woke up many times during the middle of the night. And I wasn't feeling as well as it was anyway. I just wanted to get a good night's sleep, but my son was pretty sick. And so then at 6:30 in the morning, on Thursday morning, I rushed to the pharmacy, which is 15 minutes away. And, it was pretty bad out there. The wind was pretty bad. The rains were pretty bad. I was just thankful I didn't lose my umbrella. So I'm rushing down there to quickly get medicine at the pharmacy and everything. And pretty much that's the only place anybody was going in the morning because the rain was already getting high. There are places that were, almost to knee deep, and it was getting worse out there. I got back, though, probably 7 in the morning or something like that, and I was able to get home and everything safely. And then the picture that I put on my Facebook, if you're friends with me on Facebook, was from just like a few hours after that, maybe 9:30 or 10 or something like that, where the rain was really deep. Because we're pretty close to the Marikina River, and we go soul winning in that location a lot of times. And so where we're located got hit pretty hard, but not too bad though. Our condo unit has kind of built-in protection, so it wasn't too bad for us. We didn't have any flooding. And Marikina is the place in Metro Manila that really got hit hard. But thankfully, we don't really have church members that are living in that area. And so for the most part, our church members weren't really affected too much. Obviously, our attendance was less on Sunday because there's a lot of road blockages and various problems and things like that. But it wasn't too bad for most of our members, although some of them do have members in the provinces that got hit pretty hard. And so one area where we're having a lot of success for soul winning was actually an area that got hit pretty hard with the flooding. So we weren't able to go there on Saturday, nor were we able to send a group on Sunday. So that did hinder our results a little bit, and also a little bit during the week. We're hoping that's going to get cleared up. I'm going to find out on Thursday, which by the time I upload this video, it might actually be Thursday. I'm going to go down there and just do a little bit of soul winning, do some Bible memorization stuff, find out if we'll be able to send a group there, because there's still some people around that area, but it's just a matter of, are there enough people to send a group for? And so we're going to check that out here this week. And so things are definitely opening up more, and the rains are less. We just happen to have this big flood that came through, this typhoon that came through. We've had a lot of typhoons recently. The rainy season kind of started a little bit later. So we're hoping that's going to be done. As for sermons preached, as I mentioned, Brother Mateus preached on Wednesday night. He preached on the benefits of suffering, which was a great sermon idea. He did a great job. And then on Sunday, I finished up the series on church problems, and I talked about behaving in the house of God. And I just kind of went through some things over the last few years that I've seen in church and just been in other churches I'm at. And I talk about things like dating in the house of God, language as in like the words we say in the house of God, finances in the house of God, and authority in the house of God. So we finished up that series, and we started a new really long series on fundamental family tips. And I showed how the world is attacking the Bible and God's standards. And I would say it's probably the biggest 1-2 power punch controversial sermons I've ever preached on a Sunday. We talked about gender roles, clothing, standards for men and women, and we just talked about a lot of controversial issues, and it wasn't really my intention to do that, but the family unit's under attack, and I kind of went back to not just American history, but Filipino history, to talk about how people have dressed and how ladies traditionally dressed in the past, and how it's become very westernized and changed and everything like that. So we're looking forward to a more normal week this week. So far, it's been pretty normal. But we're pretty thankful that despite all the problems, we were still able to have church Wednesday night, Sunday morning, Sunday night, and we were able to go to Pampanga on Saturday to have our church services. And, it took us a lot longer to get there, and it took us a lot longer to get back. So the travel time was almost twice as much, but we were able to still have services. So, despite the flooding and despite road blockages and things like that, God really blessed us that we were still able to have church. So very thankful about that, and hoping all of our church family is going to be able to be back on this coming Sunday. Anyways, thank you, and God bless.